about. Hi, I have a cameo. Let's see if I can get him on camera. Yep, Foster's in with me this morning. We have, it appears, won the battle of the fleas. It got so bad this summer. And so they were all playing The Floor is Lava and nobody wanted anything to do with the carpet. They were mostly living in the kitchen because no carpet, no place for fleas to hide out. So, but we have won the battle. For now. You know, you're never going to win the war with fleas, but we have won this year's battle, and we're going to do a better job of getting a jump on it next year. So, all right. Okay. Let's see if I can get around the book up around him. All right. Oh, as he hits me in the face with his tail. Okay, it is August 8th. Our title is Divine Imagination, and our author is Cora Dedrick Filmore. And this is from Christ Enthroned in Man. That's the title of the book, from 1937. And if you don't know the Filmore name, that is from Unity. All right, so Divine Imagination. Affirmation. Jesus Christ is now raising me to his consciousness of divine imagination, and I see spiritual perfection everywhere. Divine imagination is the chisel we wield in molding the paradise of our inner thought kingdom. While in the silence, therefore, the thought forms we permit to be imaged in consciousness have as great effect on our lives as our spiritual realizations. Intelligent seeing is a form of divine imagination. We should always behold ourselves in a state of keen, intelligent knowing. We should see God, good, as the source of life, and we should see ourselves majestically springing from that source. It is through divine imagination that the soul first gets the impulse to expand. In the silence, we learn to lift our vision above things as they commonly appear, and this helps to bring all the other faculties of humanity into captivity to the obedience of Christ. Thus, we learn to acquaint ourselves with God and with God's world of reality. Divine imagination, working in consciousness, sees the kingdom of the heavens, fashioned after the divine pattern shown on the Mount of High Spiritual Illumination. Okay, she got a little wordy there, and I lost the thread when I came across the word captivity, which is one of those things you want to be aware of. Occasionally, if you have a trigger word, and apparently this morning, captivity was a trigger word for me, and I lost the thread. But the interesting thing is when you go back and look at science, the brain doesn't know the difference between you exercising and you imagining yourself exercising. The brain does not know the difference. So the interesting thing is that you derive a physical benefit from imagining yourself exercising. That's just cool. Do you get the same benefit as actually going out and exercising? No, but you do get a better benefit. So all of those times that you pregame in your head, I did a class 100 years ago. It was more of a book reading where we read, it was Joe Dispenza, and I forget the name of the book, but you can Google Joe Dispenza, and it was one of his books on the brain. And this one, it was when I had first started running, which is where the Running Rev Ryan came from. When I had first started running, and I was running in my neighborhood. And when we were doing that book study, it talked about visualizing. And so I visualized running the 2 loops in my neighborhood without walking. Because I would run a little bit, walk, run, that's how I started running. And it was during that book study where I did that visualization where I actually ran the 2 loops in my neighborhood the first time without walking. Okay? Because I pre-gamed it. I visualized it. And the brain went, oh, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then I was physically able to do it. So science backs up Cora. Science backs up Cora, what Cora is saying. If you want a better life than you are currently living, if there are things that you want in your life, then visualize them. Visualize them. But then, as in with exercise, go out and take action steps. The cool thing about visualizing what you want, pre-gaming is what I call it. I'm probably caught up in the women's soccer drama right now. Mostly because England did a really cool thing. When Nigeria lost a shootout game to England, and the Nigerian goalie was distraught, and the English players came over and comforted her and told the camera guys to get out of their face. So, so pre-gaming. But, so back to my point. If you want, so you visualize what you want, and then it opens you up to the divine guidance, which will then help guide you to what it is that you want, helping you to bring into material reality that which already exists in the mind of God. So the cool thing is whatever it is that you want to visualize already exists in the mind of God. Whatever it is that you want to bring into your life, if it is in alignment with good, already exists in the mind of God. And so you start to visualize that. Visualize your life as if. And then that opens you up to the divine guidance, which then starts bringing the physical pieces to you that help to create whatever it is that you are visualizing into, you are imagining into your reality. And that's the really interesting thing. Imagination can be one of those words. You're not wishing your life away when you are imagining. Especially if you are doing the divine imagining in treatment, because once you get out of that, then you take actual physical steps to do it. That's why I said you derive benefit from visualizing exercise, like I did when I was running. I visualized, I imagined what it would feel like to run the 2 loops without walking, and then did. I got out and did it. So that's the point. And so what Cora is talking about is like, look, we have access to this divine imagination. Why not use it? Why not use it? And she starts off with, it says, affirmation, Jesus Christ is now raising me to his consciousness of divine imagination, and I see spiritual perfection everywhere. That's the interesting thing about when you read Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes will talk about truth and reality. And there's another word that he uses frequently, spirit. And he will make a distinction of when he's talking about the divine by using a capital letter, and when he's talking about our perception by using a lowercase letter. And so what she is affirming is that because we are activating the Christ consciousness, we are no longer using the lowercase imagination, we are using the uppercase imagination, the divine imagination. And I like that she says divine imagination is the chisel we wield in molding the paradise of our inner thought kingdom. The paradise of our inner thought kingdom. Is the inside of your head a safe place to be? And if it is not, what do you need to do to make it a safe place to be? Because your inner thought kingdom absolutely should be a paradise. Now, do not let me shit on you, okay? If it is not, it just means you have some work to do. And we all have those thoughts. We all have the weeds that pop up. And so we want to weed our garden regularly, but that's what she's saying here. And I like that she uses the paradise of our inner thought kingdom. If we want our outer world to be heaven on earth, then we've got to make sure that we have a paradise of an inner thought kingdom. And what do we do? How do we do that? By focusing on the Christ consciousness and focusing on the good and focusing on spirit. All right. Let me see. Okay, let me get back to that where I got off track. Intelligent seeing is a form of divine imagination. I like that she says intelligent seeing because it's a reminder, this is not airy-fairy fantasy. We are actually visualizing the better world that we are bringing into our material life. Okay? We should see God, good, as the source of life, and we should see ourselves majestically springing from that source. That's a powerful phrase to put in there. All right. I got caught up in this. It is through divine imagination that the soul first gets the impulse to expand. In the silence, we learn to lift our vision above things as they commonly appear. And that's what I'm talking about, the difference between the little r and the big R. Things as they commonly appear versus what God knows them to be. And I've talked about that before. When you're looking at yourself, especially if you start to criticize yourself, it's like, drop that, go and see how God sees you, because God sees you as perfect, whole, and complete. All right. God doesn't see all the mess because the mess doesn't exist in the divine. And this helps to bring all of the other faculties of humanity into captivity to the obedience of Christ. That's where I got caught. So, basically, we want to move beyond the way things commonly appear and bring them into the obedience of, I got caught by captivity and obedience of Christ. Basically, we want to bring them into alignment with what the Christ consciousness is telling us. All right. The Christ consciousness is telling us, because the Christ consciousness is based in love. That is what Jesus came to teach. Jesus came to teach love. I came not to break the laws, but to fulfill them in love. So, all right. Thus we learn to equate ourselves with God and with God's world of reality. Divine imagination, working in consciousness, sees the kingdom of heaven fashioned after the divine pattern shown on the Mount of high spiritual illumination. And there are all kinds of missions that we could take from this, but next year I would choose probably something different. But today, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to see ourselves majestically springing from the source of life. To majestically spring from God, from good, from the Christ consciousness, from the divine imagination. Majestically springing. We are not just springing, we are majestically springing from the source of our being. And what is the source of our being? Well, what do you want to call it? Do you want to call it God? Do you want to call it spirit? Do you want to call it universe? Do you want to call it the Atman? Do you want to call it the Christ consciousness? Or do you just simply want to call it good? Majestically springing. That's the mission today. We are majestically springing. I need that in my life today. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there. So if you want to choose a different mission, that's up to you too. It's just what strikes my fancy today. All right. So that is the mission today. To visualize ourselves majestically springing from the source of divine imagination. Okay? Majestically springing. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I am a big believer in self-care. If you are going to live a life of service, which is what we do, then we cannot pour from an empty cup. So it's extremely important to take care of ourselves. I encourage you to practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself for a variety of reasons. One, you deserve your own love, kindness, and compassion, and that being the most important. But I also want you to create a habit, and I want you to take care of yourself. So, practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself. And it can look as simple as taking a deep breath before you speak. She made a comment about the paradise of our inner thought kingdom. That is what I'm talking about. the paradise of our inner thought kingdom. You will speak to yourself more than you will speak to any other person in the entire world. Make your inner thought kingdom a paradise. Please, please take care of yourself. Take a deep breath before you speak. But it also looks like taking a walk and taking a nap and taking a break and saying yes to something that pushes you a little out of your comfort zone and saying no to something that, just really drains you. It also looks like eating dessert first. Not saving the good stuff, celebrating your life as the special occasion that it is. So burn the nice candles, you write in the good notebooks, wear the nice clothes. Don't save the fine china and stemware glass. Use it. Use it regularly. I get that you don't want to do it every day, but use it more regularly than you do. All right. So that is love, kindness, and compassion. Practice on yourself. I've just got myself completely discombobulated, which means I need to change my routine anyway. So I'm going to remind you of the rest of the suggestions, which are to do something to engage your mind and your body, to drink plenty of water. We are still in the triple digits. So hydrate, take breaks, make sure you keep yourself relatively cool. That being the operative word there. And hydrate, because your brain, your body, and your skin all work better, look better when you're hydrated. So hydrate. And also get that early in your day bright light. If you are, get up before the sun, artificial light will help. And there are lights specifically for that. And I'm talking 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not talking like a whole lot. I'm talking less time in these videos. So, if you got that sunlight while you were watching this video, you've gotten plenty. About now would be when you could go inside. So please get that early in your day bright light. It's called a circadian rhythm. You'll have more energy during the day and sleep better at night. So, all right. And then the last one, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. She talked about the paradise of our inner thought kingdom. And that's it. Heaven is a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. Therefore, it is not a place we have to get to, but a state of mind, a state of consciousness that we learn to create. And we learn to create it through that Christ consciousnness. And the good news about the Christ consciousness is you come pre-installed with it. Okay? It's factory settings, people. They call it different things in different religions, but it's all the same thing. And the password to activate it is love. Okay. I'm going to tumble over myself and remind you that one of the best ways to create that heavenly mindset is to take Emma's advice, which is look for the good and praise it. All right. Gratitude will absolutely get you everywhere. Okay. Yep. Here we are. Social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I encourage you to check them out. I'm particularly proud of the YouTube channel. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. And there are hot links that will take you right to the YouTube channel for Creative Life Spiritual Center. I've been meaning to send him a link to mine too, but I keep forgetting. So, it is what it is. But the hot links will take you either right to the information you want or to the person that's going to help you get it. So, all right. Yep, I'm on to the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a divine imagination day, a inner thought paradise kingdom day, a magically springing forth from the source day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough. Just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godly. In whom God is well pleased, and well represented. Know the truth of your being. All right? Know the truth of your being. You get to let go of everything that you have been told by society, culture, religion, and explore the truth of your being. Get to know yourself the way God knows you. All right? In which you are perfect, whole, complete. All right? Good news is God doesn't see the mess. You know, we get into the material reality and it gets a little messy, but as they said, as that meme from my childhood said, God don't make no junk. All right? God knows the perfect you. Go get to know that part of yourself. Go get to know the truth of yourself. All right. I am going to move into the process of my day. So I'm going to encourage you to get, sorry, losing the thread of my mind here. I'm going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself and know that you are loved. Always. I'll see you next time.